The CEO of the world's biggest language learning app said, and I am quoting directly from a 2025 interview, that artificial intelligence will eventually make language learning apps obsolete. Wait, he said that about his own product? About his own product. Now, do we believe him? And more importantly, does this apply to learning German? Let's be real for a second. If you are an international professional working in Germany right now, perhaps an Indian engineer, a consultant, or a data professional, you are probably highly technical. You use AI tools every single day, and you might carry this small, unspoken feeling of guilt about not learning German properly, because you keep telling yourself, AI is getting so good, it will handle the language for me soon anyway. Today, this explainer is speaking directly to that rationalization, and we are going to lovingly dismantle it. Look, I tested this. I wanted to make the strongest possible case for mechanical efficiency. I pasted a dense and terrifying German financial letter, a letter from the tax office, into an AI tool. I received a mathematically perfect and legally precise English translation in exactly 4 seconds. My colleague, who spent 2 difficult years learning German to a B2 level, took 6 minutes to read the exact same letter. So where exactly is the return on investment? After all, researchers in SLA, or second language acquisition, to use the academic term, have argued for decades that achieving completely native-like fluency becomes much more difficult after childhood. So what exactly are we asking adults to invest in? If my earpiece can perfectly handle B2 level German, why am I spending my evenings struggling with grammar? Okay, but here is the fatal flaw in that logic, and it comes down to a single number. 2. A 2-second latency delay. Now imagine that you are in a Betriebsratssitzung. That means a works council meeting. It is a high-stakes meeting. A senior German engineer makes a sharp comment. The comment is slightly sarcastic and slightly political. Your earpiece takes 2 seconds to translate it. You laugh 2 seconds too late. You respond 2 seconds too slowly. That 2-second gap can be career-defining. In fast-paced meetings, people use micro-timing to signal attention, trust, and agreement. If you are constantly buffering, that small delay destroys the natural flow of the conversation. You become a spectator in your own career. Choosing human interaction over a translation app creates what evolutionary psychology calls a costly signal. Imagine an Indian data professional walking into a kickoff meeting with a German managing director. The data professional looks directly at the managing director and says, "Schön Sie kennenzulernen." Let's say that slowly. "Schön Sie kennenzulernen." And naturally, "Schön Sie kennenzulernen." That means, it is nice to meet you. No app can replicate the thousands of hours of effort behind learning how to communicate naturally in that moment. The fact that learning the language is difficult is exactly why it has value. The effort itself becomes a signal of commitment and trust. This is particularly important in the German Mittelstand. Let's say it slowly. Mittelstand. And naturally, Mittelstand. The Mittelstand broadly refers to Germany's small and medium-sized business sector, including many specialized and often family-owned companies. The point is simple. When you bypass the friction, you may also bypass an opportunity to build trust. Here is something I did not expect, and it is actually a concession to the human side of this debate. When I run the same prompt in German and English through a large language model, I often receive more sophisticated output from the English prompt. A great deal of high-quality online training material is available in English, so the better my English prompting becomes, and the better my German becomes for stakeholder communication, the more professionally effective I can be. That combination is the real advantage. The professional who succeeds in 2030 will be zweisprachig. Let's say that slowly. Zweisprachig. And naturally, zweisprachig. That means bilingual. The professional who wins will be bilingual and AI-fluent, not one or the other. You might respond, "That is a nice theory. Show me the job posting." The job posting may not state this combination explicitly, but that gap is exactly where the opportunity lies. You generate brilliant data models using precise English AI prompts. Then you present and sell that model to a German-speaking board because you understand and speak the language of the stakeholders. But learning grammar is like reading sheet music, right? Many successful professional musicians could not read music. Jimi Hendrix reportedly could not read conventional musical notation. Paul McCartney has also discussed not reading or writing musical notation. True, but they were generational talents working in a global English language music industry surrounded by people who could help translate their creativity into production. You are an Indian engineer operating in a German-speaking Mittelstand. The comparison doesn't hold. You are not a generational solo act. You are trying to play in an orchestra, and to play effectively in that orchestra, you need to understand the sheet music. So the answer to this entire debate is a synthesis. If your job requires nuance, timing, and trust, AI does not replace learning the language. It accelerates it. The modern AI tool stack is there to help you avoid language acquisition. It is there to supercharge it. Let's look at how you can build that tool stack. Instead of using a massive amount of mental energy to read a dense German AWS white paper, use NotebookLM to transform the material into an audio overview for your commute or downtime. Then use Language Reactor. Let me say that again. Language Reactor. It is a browser extension that can support language learning while watching online video content. Instead of pausing every 2 minutes to search for a word in a dictionary and destroying your motivation, you can work with interactive subtitles while the video continues. Then we have the heavy hitters, Claude and ChatGPT. Their real value is not simply translation. Their real value is zero judgment practice. They remove much of the social anxiety associated with making grammar mistakes. You can ask Claude at 2 in the morning to explain a German grammatical case for the 50th time. The AI will not become impatient. The AI will not laugh at your mistake. And the AI will not judge you. Then pair that practice with AI-supported Anki flashcards. Do not spend all your time memorizing German words for farm animals that you will never use professionally. Instead, use vocabulary from your company's actual technical onboarding documents. Generate custom flashcards for the terminology you genuinely need. If you work with Kubernetes, create Kubernetes vocabulary cards. For example, der Kubernetes Cluster, the Kubernetes cluster, die Bereitstellung, the deployment or provisioning, die Skalierbarkeit, scalability, die Zugriffsberechtigung, access authorization, and die Fehlerbehebung, troubleshooting. Now the German you are learning is directly connected to your daily work. Finally, use a text-to-speech tool such as Speechify to listen to your manager's written messages with realistic pronunciation and intonation. This allows you to perform focused learning using the exact professional vocabulary you need for your tab. And that brings us to a challenge for you. Set your phone to German for 1 week. Step 1. Open your phone settings right now. Step 2. Change the interface language to Deutsch. Step 3. Commit to using it for 1 week. Just the interface. No lessons, no additional apps, no pressure. Only exposure. You might ask, that is your grand solution to the AI obsolescence question? Yes, because the real question is not whether AI can translate. The question is whether you trust yourself to live and work in a German language environment. And that trust comes from doing, not only from translating. When your phone displays Einstellungen, you learn that it means settings. When it displays Benachrichtigungen, you learn that it means notifications. When it displays Datenschutz, you learn that it means data protection or privacy. When it displays Bildschirmzeit, you learn that it means screen time. And when it displays software update, you probably do not need a translation at all. You begin to recognize the words through repetition and context. That is how the language slowly becomes part of your environment, instead of remaining a subject that exists only inside a textbook. So in 2030, when AI can translate almost perfectly, what exactly will you to work that cannot be automated? Will it be your judgment, your ability to build trust, your understanding of unspoken cultural context, your timing in a difficult conversation, your ability to recognize sarcasm before your translation device catches up, or your ability to walk into a room and communicate directly with the people sitting across from you? And does any part of that have something to do with language? That is not a question I can answer.